What's going on, guys? Matt Schaeffer back here with you with another integrated radar and laser install for you. This one on a 2018 Porsche GT3. So let's check it out. So on this system, we used AL priority for laser defense, and we coupled that with net radar DSP front and rear radar heads to protect us against radar. So to kind of show you the design of the front end, we have 3 individual diffusers. We have 2 RX diffusers on either side, and then we have 1 TX in the center. We've developed 2 different pods for that center diffuser, one being a TX and one being an RX, and we've tested both versions. The TX seemed to actually perform better than the RX with 3 RX. Obviously in this case the TX is a little bit lower than they call for, but again, since we do this car a lot, we decided to test both versions of the unit to see which one actually performed better. Again, 2 RX on the side, a TX in the center, and we made these pods here that basically sandwich together. I'll try and overlay some pictures here so you can kind of see how it's designed. There's a sandwich design, so underneath this piece of IR acrylic, there's another piece of acrylic where the laser diffuser is bolted in, and there's a piece of acrylic on the back end of this mesh and on the front end, and it basically sandwiches together so we're not physically drilling in the bumper. In this case, that diffuser does sit there through the mesh, so the mesh has to be notched out where each individual diffuser is. As you can see, we created this inverse line, this design line here, that basically mimics what you see on top. In this case, we decided to outline that in the silver, just so when you're looking at it from the front end, it looks like it's a physical part of the car versus it being all gloss black or anything like that. The IR acrylic is light emitting, so it does allow light transfer to go through the acrylic. There's a bunch of testing that's been done with the different styles of IR acrylic. You're basically losing about 2% light transmission, so there's really no discernible difference between having the pod right out in the open, or the laser diffuser right out in the open, versus behind this infrared acrylic. Again, you see a lot of different manufacturers in today's day and age with like adaptive cruise control doing the same type of stuff, right? You've seen Mazdas or Mercedes with the gloss black front emblem, and you basically have laser emitters in there. You have stuff for adaptive cruise control to see other vehicles on the street. So this is kind of the same concept. This is making it all look like it's built into the front end of the vehicle, like it has been an option from the car. And again, you can't really tell that anything is installed in the car because again, it looks like the car set up like that. Now showing you the rear of the car, we have our license plate design here, and what this does is it basically conceals a RX and a TX behind the top of this IR acrylic that you see here. Now this whole face is IR acrylic, where this silver is painted part of the IR acrylic. So we used our laser to design this, obviously kept the paper on the part that we want to be transparent or black, and then we basically took it off, painted to give that design to make it look like it's all built in. So it looks like a Porsche license plate frame, but up here obviously you do have your IR acrylic and you have your TX and your RX respectively. Again, we've also made this rear license plate frame with a double RX typical diffuser, and the TX with the RX did seem to perform better using a Stalker XLR. So with this here, in order to service the license plate, this whole thing magnetizes off. You see a bunch of magnets there. You see the cutout there on the 1/8 inch piece of acrylic, and then the cutout there for the RX. Back here you see where the diffusers actually are sitting. They're protruding this front license plate, and then it's basically sitting flush with that part of the IR acrylic license plate. We are using the factory holes here to line everything up and bolt everything into place. These are going to be our new bolt holes for our new license plate, and obviously we have all our black magnets embedded here in the license plate frame. We can still access the rear tow hitch, so everything is still set up to be functional, and obviously we still have our cutout up here for the rear camera. Putting this back on, Obviously, you would just bolt the license plate frame there. There's a cutout there for the license plate, obviously just using this so I don't have to show the client's license plate. And to put it back together, it basically just sucks up into place, and just like that, it's good to go. So with most systems, we generate a plate like this. It has all the IDs of the different diffusers, the control unit, the Bluetooth module. All that information is here, so you can access it at any time. You have your controller here. This had the smoker's package already, so we did not have to convert it. This will flip completely down and articulate and close to conceal the controller. Pop this open and you can have your quick access controls right there. Again, we can customize this for whatever vehicle that you have. It can just say Porsche, it could say GT3, 911, whatever it is. This is all customizable. So this is showing you the Bluetooth module for the AL Priority. And like say an Escort, MaxCI will have a display that's built in with the system, right? With this case, you don't have a built-in display. You only have the LED, which in this case is up there in our speedometer cluster, and obviously the AL Priority controller. This lets us control, and it also gives us a display. So if you had a phone mount, you know, say up here, you can ride with it like this to see what's happening in real time. You can also change your different presets and change it from city to highway and all that kind of stuff. Another cool thing is you can update the firmware directly from the app. So it's very easy. You don't have to hook up a computer or do anything like that. You can easily update it from the app. And then also you can see all the different readings that the unit has physically picked up. So if a cop is hitting you, you can see exactly what you've been hit by, and it puts a recording and a timestamp with what you've been hit by. This is when we tested it with our different units here. So basically, all in all, this can be your display if you like to have the display. Otherwise, you can just disconnect from this and everything is going to work directly through the controller and the speaker built into the dashboard. Or you can use it where the controller is your main functioning unit. You're not using the phone, and obviously all your audio alerts are going to come through a speaker that's been installed in the vehicle. So the cool thing about the AL Priority is we have 3 different presets. Preset A is basically going to jam to the gun for about 5 seconds. So it's going to diffuse the signal, and then it's going to let the signal come through. That way, whoever is shooting the gun, they believe obviously there's nothing installed in the vehicle. Now they pick up your speed as you do a reduced speed. Profile B is basically going to be unlimited jamming. So no matter what, the gun is going to get jammed from the unit down here. And the problem with that is if they're shooting you for a long extended period of time and it's continuing to jam the gun, they're going to know something is wrong and something is in the vehicle. So most likely you will get pulled over. So cool thing about Profile C is it's actually parking sensor mode. And the beautiful thing about this is that if somebody were to give you a hard time about what the things are on the front of the car, you can just say they're factory parking sensors. The way that they're set up, they look like they could be factory parking sensors based on the integration into the front end and the rear end of the car. So again, this is just kind of like a nice little safe haven, a fallback, an excuse to use if somebody was giving you a hard time about the system. Now, modern systems will not false like your older systems will, right? So say you have an older radar unit and it goes off all the time. There's a lot of different vehicles out there on the market today that use adaptive cruise control, that use collision avoidance, blind spot detection, all that kind of stuff. And it uses a variation of laser, different radar bands, and that will generally false the system. So the good thing about this is you can basically narrow the bands and only let in what would be potential threats. So we aren't having our system false every 2 seconds for most cars on the road. And again, I'm sure some of you out there who have had a system, maybe an older system, maybe you're still using an older system and it's going off all the time. That's why. and newer systems aren't just going to false like that. So if you have an older system and it's going off all the time, there's a reason for that, and it's probably time to upgrade. And again, the great thing about this is we can update the firmware of the radar heads, the laser system, to basically stay up to date with the current firmware versions of the different guns that are out there in order to protect against the algorithm that they would shoot. So again, when you buy a modern system, at this point, it's pretty much future-proof because it's adapting with the current technology. So just keep that in mind when looking into a new system, or if you're curious about why your old system does not work well. So that's basically it, guys. If you have a car, if you're interested in getting a car done, or just have questions about how to integrate it into your car, you can contact me. Here's my information. Here's my phone number followed by my email address. These are 2 great points of contact for me. Obviously, you can follow us on Instagram to stay current with all the projects that we're doing. Here's our 3 handles below. Also, the greatest source to see things we've done in the past is probably to visit our website. It's www.musaicdesign.com. Here you can see a full collection of different cars that we've worked on, from audio to radar and laser, and everything is searchable by make, model, manufacturer, and you can see the entire build log, and most of the videos will have an attached YouTube video with that respective install. So go and check that out. Also, make sure you hit that bell, get the notifications when we drop a new video. That way, when there's a new video, you get notified. Obviously, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button for the video. Like always, guys, I appreciate it, and until next time.